could not imagine being with a man that disowned his kids.
No.
Even if we have kids together, that tells me a lot about you, dude. Like, you can wake up one day and say, fuck me and my kids too.
Yeah. What we talking about today? We talking about
fuck them kids.
Okay. Before we start, let's.
Can we set a premise behind that shit?
Yes, we can.
Don't
but
let the people think we crazy.
We're not crazy, but before, I just want to add a disclaimer.
Okay.
Yes.
We love our children.
Yes.
We love our children.
100%.
They are my heart.
But being a parent isn't always rosy.
No.
So I just want to put that disclaimer out there. But just because we are saying fuck them kids, that does not mean that we don't love our kids.
We don't love our kids, that we don't care, any of that.
They started out as lovable, precious.
She just went in.
Bundles of joy. And as time went on, they turned into demon seeds.
Oh, shit.
I don't know about her. That's not my story. That's not my story. I mean, me and my kids have moments, of course, but they're beautiful children. But let's just say, if any parent today, if you put a picture in a dictionary of fuck them kids in a dictionary, who would you put up there? None other than Brian McKnight.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
You're
my
right,
God.
Though. Yo.
That
and I
ninja.
haven't even listened to all of the stories that's coming out
Man,
about.
You ain't gotta listen to all the stories. He crazy. The dictionary picture would be.
First of all, I can't imagine. So let's just talk about that a little bit, because I can't imagine like disowning my kids.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anything that they would do that would force me to feel the need to have to be like, you know what, like in a true sense, like really be like, fuck them kids. I don't.
That's our story, right?
That's our story. Yeah. There are other people that do feel. Yeah.
That probably feel differently.
That's yeah.
They have different type of relationships with their kids, and their kids may have done some fucked up. And
he's not even claiming them.
Yeah. It's like coming in. You are a public figure, number one, and how does that make your other kids feel? Like at the end of the day, they can think at any moment he could say, "Fuck us too."
Now, how many kids he has in total?
I don't know. I maybe 2 or 3. I'm not really sure. I haven't.
I think
no, it's more than
two
that.
Or 3 with the first.
With the first, and then 1 or 2.
Yeah, you got a couple of kids.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah.
Going even beyond that, as the wife, as if I'm being in a blended family type of relationship, because I'm there now in that space, right? And I could not imagine being with a man that disowned his kids.
No.
Even if we have kids together, that tells me a lot about you, dude. Like, you can wake up one day and say, fuck me and my kids too.
Yeah.
At any given moment. So, how do you even have honor or, like, love somebody like that? I just can't imagine. I cannot imagine being with someone like that.
But a lot of women don't even think about that. They just think of, like, because of his stardom, they're like, I mean, I'm not his wife, so I don't know.
That shit out the window now. People ain't showing up to the damn shows no more.
Listen, social media has an impact on a lot of that. I don't want to derail the conversation, but you go left and they be taking people's jobs based on what you said. They find out where you work, and that's just the regular Joe.
Yeah.
Now we talking about the celebrities. Like, you really have to be mindful of how you show up. But in his true form, he was like, fuck them kids. Now, to your point, where did the relationship go left? Like,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Like, what could have possibly have happened that would have afforded him the even mindset to say, screw you? Did it start off with the baby mama? But even then, it shouldn't, because that should have no bearing on your kid.
Right. It shouldn't.
It should not.
It should not.
Because at the end of the day, them kids, they're yours, but they eventually will see how you be acting.
Exactly.
Whether it's a man or a woman, they'll see how mama be acting up.
Right.
They'll see how daddy be acting. They're going to figure it out if they smart.
She actually spoke up, right? And again, like, we don't know all the intricacies behind the whole situation between him, his kids, and his ex-wife, and so forth and so on. But she got on social media and you know, she spoke up about it. So to me, in my mind, that tells me, like, whatever may have happened or may not have happened, it don't seem like it was that bad that you have to get to a point where you get on social media, a public platform, and disown your kids.
Yeah, that's wild.
Crazy.
It could have been that she said some outlandish shit referring to the kids that we don't know about. But knowing how he's been expressive in his
For a long
feelings,
time now.
he didn't share it. So I'm not sure. She could have came out her mouth and said some stuff.
Again, it had nothing to do with the kids. Again, that the kids should be totally off limits.
Off limits, yeah.
Whatever's going on.
Say
between
what you want,
and-
y'all to take it out on each other.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. But anyways, I have some more samples of.
Go ahead, let's go for it.
Kids. That mom from The Strays, the movie The Strays.
Yes.
You remember that chick? She went and got a whole new
Rufus.
identity, got a whole.
Oh yes. That was a good movie.
That was an
Yes.
Yes.
She definitely was like, fuck them
She
kids.
bounced. Not once, but
That ain't-
Twice. But twice.
And dang.
She was like, I'm out of here, deuces. I'm not. And I forget why she left the first kids came back.
Yeah.
Were they gonna kill her in the new thing?
I don't remember.
But she ordered that Chinese food. Someone wanted to do and pay for this shit and got on
And
that
she was like-
delivery man bike. And
But them kids wanted to kill all of them.
her first set of kids.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I remember. Yeah.
They did want to kill all
that's
of them.
crazy.
Because she abandoned their ass.
She abandoned them, yeah. That's the hatred. That's the animosity. So you know what? That speaks to something. Do we as parents give our kids anxiety? Do we cause them strife, anger? The way we rear them and raise them up does have an impact on how they show up in the world to some degree.
Yes.
It goes back to how you were. It's like I seen something the other day. It was I forget where I seen that, but it showed like how we bring our shit to our kids, right?
Okay.
So it start with your parents, their parents, whatever, and the way the example, the way it was demonstrated was like you had a glass of something, right? It was full. It was like a brown liquid at that point. That glass got poured into the parent glass and it was still full with shit, basically. Then it got poured into your glass. You decided to keep like rinsing that glass, making that you made that glass clear. So when you pass your shit down to your kids, they didn't come down with the same shit that you kept, the same baggage, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely we can project some of our own shit on our kids because of a couple of things. One, we don't know how to not be that way, but we haven't figured it out. Two, because we don't want them to go through some of the same things that we have gone through. So we are probably overbearing in certain situations. Like we're like hammering certain shit down on them because we are afraid for them to repeat some of the things that was either happened to us in our lives or before that. So I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that some of the stuff that I experienced growing up, I made sure to keep that going with my kids, as in teaching them manners, things like that, the good stuff.
Yeah.
But I also did expose them to certain things that one of my regrets. But I was able to get out of it early enough, at least I thought I did, for it not to have such a crazy impact on their lives going forward. And I'm seeing now, as a result of some of the stuff I exposed them to, I see it now in my kids. So our relationships, I love all three of them. I have 3 different relationships with 3 different kids.
You should. I think you should.
I love them all the same, but personalities is just totally different.
People.
Yes. I'm just trying to work through with each of them. But 2 out of the 3, yeah, I'm at that point where you're going to have to figure it out. You old enough. You got your own lives. Yeah, figure it out.
And for the people old enough, like what? Let's quantify
They're
that.
adults.
They're
They have
adults.
their own families, maybe some of them.
I just want to quantify it because everybody doesn't know the
Out of the
situation.
house-
Like
out of
we
the
know
house,
this,
right.
we know,
Yeah.
but
Out of the household. But even when you say quantify situations, people can be adults age-wise. They can't be. They're necessarily adults mentally.
that's a big thing.
It is. I was forced to grow up early. I've been on my own since I was 16. So it's a lot different for me, and a lot of that go-getting attitude that I've always had, all 3 of my kids have them. One of them, I will say he does have it, but it's not as intense as the other 2. Like my daughter, she's all about her money. You know, and I've taught her things where she will always have a side hustle. So even if she's not working, she's got shit going on every week.
Making some money.
She's making money.
Yeah.
My son, same way. He's a go-getter, but he can be lazy because he's all about that fast money. I love them to death for it. That was a mindset I kind of wish that I had when I was raising them. But I wasn't in the position to do that.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be better than me. So I'm all about him wanting to express or explore that side. But you also need to take other advice as well to maintain a lucrative living until you feel that this dream is worth you giving up all your other aspects to make money solely on here.
I feel you on that.
And no matter how much advice I've given, he doesn't want to take it. So at 32, figure it out.
He's grown. It's so funny you talk about that. I have in my notes, I think when we grew up like a time, it was like you either sink or swim. We figured shit out. Our parents was not holding our hand every step of the way. They didn't have time to, because they was out there trying to make things happen for us. Whether they had, lucrative assets or not, they was out there trying to make things happen for us. So they didn't have time to hold our hands. And I think that's one of the things that we changed in raising our kids. We held their hands a little bit
too longer than we were supposed to.
Held our hands, right? So, and then, at some point, you like, hands off, because and it's not fuck them kids. It's like it's time for me. Time for you to fly, really fly. Like,
get off the tit.
Get off the tit. You've been holding your hand for a very long time. Like if you had to. Some of these kids had to go out there and do something, and that's not all kids, because some kids are very, very, very ambitious. They're very independent. My youngest is probably the most independent of all three of my kids at her age.
Yeah.
And I think that had something to do with the time gap or whatever. I didn't have a lot of time to give her the one-on-one time that I did give to my other two, and then they had each other. She just kind of watched and looked, and like she said, if I want something, I'm gonna go and get it. And that's been my mindset too. Anyway, so they all have that. You want something, you got to go get it. You really want it.
Okay. So,
but I do, just thinking about what you're saying, it's the time that we grew up and the time that we're raising our kids now, and then also some parents who are very much young parents. It's either they're being friends with their kids or they're saying, fuck them kids, I'm going to live my life.
So I would say this, just to piggyback off of what you said, to some degree. I was one that never always said yes to everything that they asked for.
Oh, me either.
And sometimes, even if they were deserving, even if they got good grades and everything, sometimes, and the reason why, I'm gonna tell you two stories, is one, I say no because at a very young age, I felt like I had to teach them to be resilient.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say no, you're gonna go cry, you're gonna figure it out, but you're gonna bounce back, and you're not gonna be a bitch ass about it.
Right.
So I try to tell them no. I'm talking about when they were young.
Right.
Not even double digits. Sometimes you just tell them no, and they be like, "Why not?" First of all, don't.
They need to hear that word.
That's correct.
But they're gonna get told no a lot.
In the world, and that's the reason why I need to teach you resiliency, because in the world don't work that way. You can't get everything you want right when you want it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to be able to figure out, okay, so I didn't get what I want, so how can I do it? So that's why I never always said I'm like an advocate of never giving everything that they want at that time. Now, the reason where I learned that from was my grandfather, because I was raised by my grandparents. And my grandfather, he was telling me no, and I used to get angry like a motherfucker. Like, what the fuck you talking? One time, I got my check, and I worked, and I was working for the summer youth program they used to have in the city in New York. He was like, give me a check.
Right.
And
I wanted to say in my mind, what the fuck you talking about? He like, get the fuck on. Like, get the fuck on, Poppy. But that's in my head. Right. But he was like, no, I'm serious. And I was just like, he's like, you don't even know what to do with the money. Now, he's asking for the check not because he needed the money. Let's just be clear. He was trying to teach me savings and how to handle the money. Yes. But he also was an advocate of when I asked for something, he sometimes would tell me no. And then as I got older, he broke it down for me. He was like, the world is going to smack you upside your head. Yes. And you need to know, when you hear no, figure it out. When there's a will, if you really want to do it, you're going to figure out a way to do it. But he needed to slap me up my head verbally sometimes, and I got it. But I think I don't want to say this generation, there is a generation of kids, they're entitled. Yeah. They believe, I'm supposed to have this. Yep. You got to give it to me. And I'm against that shit.
Because it's coming over into their careers at work.
Oh, shit.
It's coming into their relationships. Like, everybody's not going to give you what you want.
I had a little bit of both. I was a daddy's girl. And I had uncles that all I had to do was say, can I? And it was always how much. But unfortunately, my situation is a little different from you guys. I wasn't married. So I kind of was playing both roles at some point in time.
Okay.
So there was times I did say no when they wanted something, especially if it wasn't earned, especially where school is concerned. I always pushed them about school. But I always tried to make sure that they had, regardless of the fact. And I think now that I'm seeing things, I'm realizing I should have been saying no a little bit more than I did.
Fair enough.
But you were given the things that you wanted when you asked for it.
Yeah, so it was like I was trying
to... You emulated that behavior.
Yeah.
So I can completely understand that. I really tried to raise my kids not to be entitled. Be appreciative. Now, right or wrong, some people debate this with me, but right or wrong, like if they received a gift that they didn't like, you take it, you say thank you, and maybe you might re-gift it down the line. Facts. Let's just keep it a buck.
People do that shit all the time.
But at the same time, it's like, don't be talking down about this she just gave me. I don't really need to be nasty about it because that motherfucker didn't have to give you shit.
And you don't even know what.
And you don't even know. You didn't. That's exactly what my next point. You don't know what they did. They thought enough of you to actually give you something. Yeah. So you be appreciative of it. You know, and never expect anything. Like when you see if it's your birthday, you don't expect people to be like, "Oh, let me do this for you." No, I don't like that entitlement shit. Yeah. I just don't believe it. People ain't perfect. No one's perfect. You know, I try to teach them, you're going to win, you're going to lose. Yep. This is life. I'm trying, like, even with me, I've always been, and my husband, we share the same thing. It's like, I wanted to raise kids that they go out in the world and they can be productive and be responsible but I'm also, it's only 50% of what we give them. The rest is their own experience.
It's only mentality.
So, you know what I'm saying? That's because they're going to do shit. You know, and I also try to raise them in a way that they can be confident and they know you're awesome. I used to tell them that you're awesome, you're fucking awesome, and don't let nobody tell you you're not, because the world's gonna try to convince you that you're not. For sure. And I need you to know deep down inside, especially when you creeping up and you be like, damn, I'm not as worthy. A man's gonna make you feel some kind of way. A girl's gonna reject you. You're gonna feel you're fucking awesome. Yeah. Know that for yourself. Know that for yourself first. So when you do get those rejections, again, that resiliency, you bounce back and be like, all right, bitch, fuck you. You know? Just so.
The expectation that these kids have today, or they looking for the immediate gratification of things, it's, to me, crazy and insane. But it does go back to some of the behaviors that are forced or being forced, right? And then you get the parents that be like, I don't raise this fucking monster, and now I don't want to deal with them no more. So they get that fuck your kids mentality.
They do, yeah.
And but then they're so resentful of the child that they've raised, and they're like, they don't want nothing to do with them, and it could be in a time of need.
I don't know.
They don't know how to be there for that kid now because they're so like angry with that kid that you created this monster first of all. So,
unless there was like a mental illness or something that's different within the kid
or the child,
or shit, both. Well, no, let's say the child. Like when you say you created this monster, like unless there was like a sickness or something. I can understand where the kid is doing something and you never gave them the tools or the resources they could resolve that. That's different. But when you literally raise a monster that is, you always gave them everything they wanted. They was always right when they got into argument. You defend it, which I get it. We supposed to stand up and defend our kids. But there's one thing to defend your kid in front of everybody else. But then when you get back home, you be like,
oh no, you checking up.
You know you fucked up. But you know what's that movie? You know you done fucked up, right? You know what I'm saying? You gotta check them. You know, and sometimes the checking doesn't have to be in front of everybody.
Yes.
But some parents, their kid can never do no wrong. They always, the best. And it starts off with, I always say, and it's not funny, but I be laughing sometimes. You meet those type of parents when you see the kid and they be like, oh, my baby's smart. My baby's smart. Oh, what's your name? Purple. The fuck you talking? You know I'm talking about them little kids. What's your name? Purple. How old are you? Orange. I've met motherfuckers like that.
I just want to clear something up.
Sorry.
I want to clear something up. So you said there's one thing when they raise these damn crazy ass kids. There's another thing if the kid has something going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you understand a parent saying giving up and throwing their hands up in either of those situations?
No. I'm saying that they should, as a parent, if you notice something when they're young, you need to be the parent. Do what you're supposed to do to give them the right resources for them and for yourself. Because some parents, when they notice something's wrong with their kids young, it's a shame. They're shameful. They're embarrassed, and it's like, dude, you're not doing right by your kid. Right. You can actually, maybe depending on the situation, help them out of it or help them at least be functional so they don't become a monster. Right. So I think there's some sort of there needs to be accountability on the parent side. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, I have moments where I said, fuck them kids. And I don't mean literally like, fuck y'all, I don't want to do with you, none of that kind of
It's
stuff.
situational.
They used to do things that used to tick me off.
Okay.
And I called it going on strike back then. But now, you see the fuck them kids memes and shit going around all the time. Like, there's one where the parents, they go order their Uber Eats and shit, and they sit down on the couch and they eat, and the kids like wear masks, and they look at them like, y'all crazy.
Yeah.
They grown? And these are grown kids? Shit.
Shit. So, but for me, like, if I would cook, and my food is sitting in the refrigerator for 3-4 days.
Oh.
I would literally go on strike.
Oh, I have done that.
And I would not cook.
I've done that.
They lucky if I even bought groceries in the house. But I would buy a bunch
especially when they're grown.
I buy like frozen shit or whatever. I never forget my daughter was like, Mommy, could you please cook? I'm tired of eating frozen this or frozen that. Oh, now you want me to cook? Yeah, I'll cook. But I used to do stuff like that, and to me, that's like a little something like, well, fuck them kids type of situation.
A little bit.
The longest I've gone on strike cooking was 6 weeks because I hate fucking dishes in the sink. And they would just sit there and take all the dishes and cups out of the cabinet, using them and not rinsing the one that they used prior to it.
You know what I did?
So one time them dishes sat right in that sink.
I got some that Richard
and for
did.
6 weeks, when I saw the first fly,
oh no,
that's when I went off. But I stopped cooking. I didn't go back food shopping no more. Whatever was in there and whatever they used up, that was it. Yeah. To the point that the cabinets was bare. And I think that was the first time I had ever let that happen. I was going to dinner after work before coming home, so I wouldn't be eating in front of them.
They were like, what?
And they would be
I would have ate my food right in front of them.
I did it a couple of times, but there was times I just didn't feel like dealing with them because I would come home and I knew the dishes were still going to be sitting there.
She fucking eating oxtails like, what? She's good.
Go in the bedroom.
Got my rice and peas and mac and cheese.
I came to your house a couple of times.
Oh my goodness.
Just so I wouldn't go home and deal with them until they finally, and the whole house was clean and spotless.
Let me tell you what I did with the dishes. It's the same shit. It's only 3 or 4 of us in this house. Why is every fork, spoon, plate in the goddamn sink? I'll pull everything out except for 4 forks.
Richard did that.
4 plates.
Yes.
It was 4 of everything.
Yep.
So they needed to use a dish because I didn't use paper plates. I don't use paper plates in my house, right? So they had no choice but to wash a dish if they wanted to eat something because I put all that shit away.
Listen, my husband Richard, he did that shit. And it wasn't just he packed up 6, like you said, 6 because there's 6 of us. 6 forks, 6 knives, 6 spoons. And forcing them, and they be like, they was, because we upstairs, we can hear them. He's like, where are the damn forks? Well, they won't say damn, but it was like, they start arguing with each other. You got forks in your room, And we giggling. He was like, and you know, he put it in a paper bag and put it in our room. And they couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. And now, obviously, because that's another thing too. The reason why we did that too is because before that, they were just throwing the shit in the garbage.
That's the other thing.
And see, the thing is, when it's not theirs and they didn't buy it, sometimes you have to teach them. Now, like, my son, he's on his own. He's got his own place. He realizes, I went to visit him his place, spick and span. Damn play, everything looks fantastic. In my house, you don't want to clean. You want to wipe down nothing. You done ate something. You done made your little dish, little crumbs on the counter. You don't wipe that. He makes his coffee, takes the sugar, puts it out. Sugar be all over.
Right.
I go in his apartment. That shit is. I said, what the hell is going on here?
You a poster for your drink.
You know what I'm saying? Don't what is going on? But you know what he said? He's like,
they realize.
You realize that first of all, it's only him, so he's got to do it, and he wants to live it, so he can appreciate it. But sometimes it takes that, like they don't get it, because with us, when we say things, it's like nagging. You know, they don't want to hear that shit, and I'm like, okay, no problem. Same with the cooking. Now, I live in a house with adults, with the exception of one because she's still in college and she's not 21 yet. But for the most part, you make your money. She's self-sufficient, but she didn't realize that shit. When she came home from college and me and Rich be going out she was like, where the dinner? I'm like, oh, we already ate.
Right.
She was like, what is going on here? She was like, what is happening? And even Miles was like, you know, I said, look, I always to call this thing in my house free for all. Where historically that used to mean, especially when I came home working a lot and I just didn't want to make a full meal. So I would literally, it was called free for all. What you want. It was like kind of like a short order cook. Okay. Like if you want a Captain Crunch, because it had 9 times out of 10 they were like, oh, I'm gonna eat breakfast. Knock yourself out. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I worked a lot, so I would do those from time to time. Like, oh, you just want Captain Crunch? Knock yourself out. Right. You want this? You want bacon? Go for it. Right. You want the salad? Knock it. Whatever you want, you get. Whatever, get it. So it would just free me up sometimes. But now that free for all means free to get your own shit. Yeah. Cause I'm just not. First of all, I don't have to. They're grown. Like you can figure it out. I've taught you how to cook. You know how to cook. Do it. Yeah. But I think sometimes my parenting practices and practices, some people would judge them, especially, you know, my kids went to private schools and you get these parents that they're just not used to that level of harshness. Right. Yeah. And they used to really like ask, oh, so, you know, so and so can't come to the party. No, he didn't get it. He didn't do his homework. Right. Oh, just let him come. No, he's not going. Like, you gotta. It's consequences for every action. Absolutely. And if you don't, and people don't agree, and I get it. Some people would have let the kids go. Some people would have let them do this. You raise your kids the way you want to raise them. I'm gonna raise my kids the way I want to raise them. I'm trying to teach them that there is consequences for every action. And guess what? The way the world will see and view my kids will be very different than they view and see your kids.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, we won't ever be saying, we won't be doing a Monique in the finding and saying,
she was like, fuck them
man, in the reading.
The reading. Yes.
The reading.
That movie?
That was funny.
Oh my God.
So when you have them parents that be giving their kids all they want, or the husband done lied and did so whatever the fuck he did, because she was like, fuck you and these kids, I didn't want these bitches anyway. But yeah, and
they were babies. That was the one.
That was the.
But the thing is, you know, she really did say fuck them kids, but she said fuck her husband. But it was because of all the
things that were going on. For those who haven't
watched the movie, you need to go check it out. It's a really good film. Monique played. She
did well. She did that. She did that. Yeah.
But those are things that came to my mind when we talked about this topic. Was, you know, Brian McKnight, the mom from the Strays, Monique in the reading. Those like really said fuck them kids to me as examples for this topic. Like, what can you all think of that's not personal, like that you've seen or experienced or witnessed where people like fuck them kids?
Issa in Insecure, one of the last episodes. In one of the last episodes, that shit had me. When I tell you, I was so Lawrence. If you haven't watched Insecure, you need to watch it. I'm trying
to remember the scene because I did.
So one of the last episodes was really towards the end, where the dude had the baby with the other girl, right? So she was going into the hospital, and they were like,
Because they wound up getting back together.
Yeah, but this before it was a fake scene.
Yeah,
like,
yes,
it was like
yes.
she took the baby, was like, she threw the baby. That shit had me rolling. Because it wasn't expected, but the shit was funny as all get out. Because I could not, and you know why it was funny? Because from her vantage point, like I was with this dude, I loved him. Yes, we split up, but we got back together. He didn't have shit going on, and now he popping, and he done messed around, had another baby. So I understood her. I understood where that anger came, because I could clearly see that's me, man. Fuck you and that baby. No, facts.
No, I get it.
And I get, because I know I'm married and everything, but I put myself in that, the way I have my animosity and the way I'm
but
like.
Not to go off topic, but that's a lot of women experience that, right?
Yeah.
They're in relationships.
Yeah.
And the man is not being his best self in that relationship. And women too. Women always be their best friend, their best selves in that
That's
relationship.
true.
But then they go into another relationship and they be their best damn self. They give that relationship their all.
Yeah.
They wasn't given to the person that was giving them their all in that relationship. So that was just a real quick off-topic thing. Another one was recently, this chick found her op. Ran into her op in, I think, the Walmart and shit. And she had her 6-month-old baby with her. She threw the damn baby in the garbage to fight this
No.
Yes,
Wait.
I didn't see that.
It was on The Breakfast Club. Yeah.
What?
Wow.
That's crazy.
She was donkey of the day.
That she need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
She's in
insane.
jail now. She's in jail, rightfully so.
Wait, let me just make sure I get this straight. The girl,
she ran into. She obviously had beef with somebody.
Yeah.
Okay.
She ran into her. While she was in.
So she threw her baby in a.
She threw her own baby.
Oh hell!
To go fight this bitch.
Oh, she's crazy.
Crazy.
Oh, because she knew she was going to jail.
It don't even matter. It don't even matter.
I know she's in jail now, but she did that.
Her mindset was, fuck this baby, I'm going to beat this bitch ass.
That's crazy. That is insane. That goes back to, that's a little less to me about fuck them. Well, it is fuck them kids. It is fuck them kids, but you shouldn't have had no kid. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have had no. If you don't, I don't know. Maybe it's me. The mentality, I can say this.
Importance of things, right?
Yeah.
Your prioritization is off. Your priorities, because yes, I have my kids young, very young. So that shit changed me.
Yeah.
For sure.
That shit made me a better person. That shit made me. It grew me up. It made me more responsible.
Yep.
I realized that I am independent of whether before we got married, whether he was gonna stick around or not. Like this kid, when I had my daughter, this she's mine.
Yeah.
She's looking up at me, Google gaga, and I'm like looking down, like I got a person of responsible.
Here, right?
They didn't ask.
They didn't ask to be
No.
Here. You had choices, whatever. Not promoting any of those things, but that's to each individual person. But you had options.
Yes.
Like, basically.
Yeah.
You chose to bring this child into the world. You have every responsibility to be the best parent you can be. You're not
absolutely.
Be the best parent you can be. I mean, and listen, don't get us wrong. We're not coming down on, because there's a lot of things that are situational.
Yes.
People don't know how to be that best.
Because there is no.
They
booklet.
don't know the resources. There's no guide. I don't care how many books are out there.
There's no blueprint.
Because even think about it, in having each one of your kids. You did something different from the first one with the second one.
That's correct.
You did something different.
That's correct.
Even the fucking doctor's exams was different with each one of them.
Because the things got progressive. Things were different. Yeah.
When I had Day, I used to be mindful of every little thing that she did, making sure she didn't fall, do all that stuff. When Champion came around, I didn't. As long as I didn't see blood.
You bump your head, you alright, bro.
Yeah, you good.
But
that's it.
And then the last one,
go drink some water.
Exactly. And then the last one was like, "Oh, you just got the raw end of the stick. Just go on and play with your sister and brother."
But that's what it happens. I just think that something was unlocked in us when we got pregnant and we had those babies. Yeah. For some women, that doesn't happen, and that's when you have situations like that where she gonna put her baby in a garden. Like, that's insane to me.
That was the last thing.
She couldn't even think of.
Was the last thing on my mind.
Yeah, that's insane.
The situation was, there's no situation to me.
You would have made sure your baby was good before you went and did what you.
My baby.
No, I get it.
Didn't even be in the presence of the situation.
No.
There's gonna be another opportunity. If you saw that person that one time, there's gonna be another opportunity to see that person, and that would be my mindset. Be like.
Yeah, I got you.
Right.
I got something
and leave the store. Take your child home. Because clearly you don't know how to act. So
no, that's insane.
There's another movie on Tubi. I can't remember the name of the movie.
Shit,
But a guy was with this girl for a long time. They were exclusive, and then he meets this other woman.
Mm-hmm.
They had a 2-year relationship. Something happened. She goes to jail, and he promised her that he would be there when he got out.
I know what you're talking about. When she shot the kid?
Yeah. Oh my God.
With Claudia.
Yes.
I'm sorry. So the concept of the movie's funny, but when it's the production of it, when they shot it, was like pow.
Yeah.
He was like, but I'm just the kid.
Yeah, she was like, she didn't care. She had no discussion.
You have to laugh at it because I was rolling. Even it was just hilarious. That's another one. And
that was
like,
a good picture.
Y'all can catch these hands. That show was funny. No, that was funny. I have a question for y'all. So we're talking about for them kids in the spirit of just kids and child rearing. Because both of you have dated, I mean, obviously you had a divorce and you've been with dates. Like, at what point do you introduce your significant other to your kids? At what point do you feel like it's soon enough? And I'm talking about when they're younger, not necessarily they're grown adults.
I did it.
Okay.
The relationship I had with Don Charles' dad, we were together for 15 years.
Right.
Even now to this day, he's grandpa to the 3 grandbabies. She, he reaches out. She sent pictures when they were all 3 of them were born. So he's grandpa. He's always, no matter what me and him went through, he was always that father figure to them. And to Day he's...
That's fair.
How soon did you
introduce them
to Day and Champion?
It was about a year before
Yeah.
And then everyone else after that, it was within the year. It wasn't like right away.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where Champion and Don Charles did not want to. They knew I wanted to be happy. They were okay that I needed to be happy, but they didn't need to
interact.
They didn't need to interact because at this point now, especially now,
Yeah.
they're all grown.
Yeah.
Don Charles was the only one that I had to worry about up until he moved out where it was going to be an issue for him.
Yeah.
Champion was on the cuff, and Day was pretty much, she was, at this point, she's on her own. She's a mother of her own.
Yeah.
So, but it was always within a year. Yeah.
Within a year of you meeting the person?
Yes.
Okay.
But all my relationships were long term. They weren't like fly by.
No, I did. Yeah, this is my first real long term relationship that I would say, or first relationship that I felt it was worth introducing to my children.
Fair enough.
And by that time they were older,
Okay.
so they could understand. So I really just. I didn't want to bring anybody around my kids, especially somebody who I wasn't certain about.
Yeah.
And at that time, even I think I talked about it on the very first episode where I was talking to somebody for a year.
Yeah.
I knew it was a year.
Yeah.
And it wasn't worth bringing him around nobody.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth bringing him. Like, he never demonstrated the capability. First of all, I didn't know the year had even came and gone. That was the thing. Right?
Yeah.
But this is the first person in my life that I've brought to my kids.
I didn't get to ask you. Did he have children of his own?
Cool.
The person that he did.
Young children.
Okay.
And I understood, me not meeting his kids right away because the same thing, same scenario, younger or older, whatever. You still want to make sure that they're the person because you don't want to be bringing Tom,
Yeah.
Joe, and whoever to your kids all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
What about if the person, like you've been with someone, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, and not just only in your own situation, but if you have friends or whatever that you know about, but you've been with someone, they've been with someone for some time, they introduced to the kids, but there's no connection. Like that person has no connection with the kid. Do you still stay with the person, or do you, like, what happens? Like you're digging this person, but it's like just nothing's there. What do you do with them?
With the person?
With the person.
With the person?
Meaning, like, imagine, let me set the stage. Your children are not grown.
Okay.
They're children. So now you've been dating somebody for some time.
Okay.
You introduce them to the kids, but it's really no connection. Like, there's nothing. It's like,
No connection with you.
The vibe with the kids, like meaning the vibe between that person.
You can clearly see that he's not.
He ain't vibing. It's off. It's not there. They're nice, but they're not gonna go out of their way to try to make a stronger bond. So what do you do with that person at that point?
Yeah, that person's not worth having around.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that was one of my fears too, and that's the reason why I did not. Because I didn't want to have to think about that, so that was a little painful for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can look at that two ways. So one is whether that person's not making the effort to make a connection with your children. But then the other side is your kids don't care how much effort's being made. They not fucking with that person. They don't want to do with it. To me, you're gonna have to make, if this person is good to you, and it's not to say fuck your kids, but if this person is good to you and this person is trying to engage with your kids and be a part of your kids' life and your kids are choosing not to, that's a conversation you have to have with your kids.
I agree.
Yes.
This person is good to me. This person has not demonstrated anything that make me feel like I should not try and make this work. And I'm not. You don't have to love them, and you don't have to. But at least try.
Yeah.
At least try.
At least with the few situations that I had, they always tried. There was never no situation where they did not want to engage with them. As I said, Doncho was the only one that made it a hard way to go, and Champion was on the cuff. As long as you was good to my mom and whatever, and we were good. Now, if it really got to a point where it just wasn't vibing, then I would end it.
Yeah.
But now,
well, it's different. They're grown. They're grown.
Yeah. So
That'd be hard on you and yourself. Like you would. How would you find a balance of being happy? Like I'm trying to make my kids be happy and be happy. I'm trying to make this person. Like it just wouldn't work.
But see, even now is at a point where we're getting older. If that opportunity came along where I'm getting married, there has to be some type of connection. There can't be when now we having family dinners and stuff, and the kids won't come over because of him.
Well, that's
and I don't care how grown they are. There has to be some type of relation. Yes.
Wait. So you're saying no to what? Exactly.
My kids are out of my house at that point.
Okay.
I found someone that's making me very happy.
Okay.
If this person has done nothing to these kids at this point, why would I jeopardize my happiness? They're living their lives.
But see, there's a difference though. I like to have gatherings. I like to do stuff like that.
Me too.
I want my kids there.
I would love
so
that.
So if it's to a point where there really is no mesh with who I'm about to spend the rest of my life with, it's going to be a problem for me because now I'm going to be uneasy all the time about talking about my kids, about anything like that. In that aspect, there has to be some type of relationship.
If it's on both ends that it's not working and nobody's, but if it's just on one side or the other, like if it's on the person.
But at some point, it is going to be on both sides because now if he's offering the olive branch repeatedly.
And they're not
reciprocating it, that's going to make him feel some type of way.
Maybe,
so then now
not.
When the kids come over or when they do come to visit me, I'm going to have to worry about hearing something from him because maybe now...
Not. You don't know that. You don't, because it's a conversation,
but see,
right?
Yeah, and all that has to take into play.
And here's the other thing the reason why I say, especially if your kids are adults at this point, because they're going on and they're living their own lives. They're making a life partner with whoever they're with.
Yeah.
Why should you be alone and not have a life partner because they're choosing not to respect your wishes at this point? Like, this person is making you happy. This person is fulfilling your life in some sort of way. Why wouldn't your kids want that for you, right? So I can see if they don't see any good in this relationship, I can see them not being warm and fuzzy in the very beginning. But as children or adults who respect me as their mother, give it a chance. That's all I ask you to do, is give it a chance. But if you find that you just can't do it, then I'm gonna have to be okay with that. I'm gonna have to be okay with that because now this is my life at this point. I love you. I don't love you any less, but I need to be happy too.
I feel you. Well, I mean, look, I think there's a lot of.
She don't have that to worry about. She's
oh, you know what? I'm getting off this podcast. Just because. No, listen.
We love black love. We love
it.
Long.
But so I'll say this. I'm not speaking into existence, but I'll say this: if Rich and I got a divorce, right? I know for a fact that it'd be both of us, it'd be hard pressed for us to introduce someone else to our kids because, I mean, I'm not saying we're awesome, but I mean, we're fucking awesome, you know, as people. No, seriously. But as him introducing another woman to our, they're not even kids, they're adults. They're just, they would want their dad to be happy, just like they would want their mother to be happy. But there's no man I can introduce to them that will ever take the place of him.
Yeah,
it might be like, yo, what's up? And then probably won't give the dude a time of day. And same thing with the girls, like, yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Or
that's all you can ask for. Like,
that's it. There's nothing more. Just a hello. Don't look for that person to be like, yo, do you wanna or come over? They're not doing that.
Again, you never know. Like, we're talking about things that we can't.
Hypotheticals.
Right. Yeah.
They're hypotheticals.
Right. But they're very possible.
Yeah.
Possible at the same time. But you just never know. I think at the end of the day, so what would you do? What would you do?
Okay, so at this age that I'm at right now, and we just said we're done. Mm-hmm. I don't even feel the need to introduce no dude to my kids. I honestly don't.
Her situation is way.
I don't.
So this person never becomes worthy enough.
I'm not saying they're not worthy.
Enough in your life, or it could be a point where you guys are looking to.
Do you know what type of
married
shoes?
Again,
I don't know that I'm gonna get married.
I'm not talking about filling shoes. I'm just saying.
I don't know that I would get married again.
You don't know, but let's just say you did.
And I'm not saying that because I don't love marriage. I'm just saying that I don't.
Let's just say
I'm protecting my assets.
Let's just say you did. God damn it, you're so fucking crazy.
We're gonna cut that out.
Let's just say you did.
Okay.
Let's just say this man done knocked you off your fucking feet.
Woo!
You not gonna introduce to your kids?
I guess yes, but I don't.
She just don't see nobody else knocking them off.
Exactly.
And I get that.
I can't see. I don't see it. Yeah.
You can't force it. I completely understand that. Like,
because I could be very private.
You shouldn't see it. God.
No, okay. So let me say this.
Because
okay,
right now they got that relationship that is going to last.
So I'm gonna put a morbid thing on it because him and I have talked about this. God forbid if
one of you guys.
I died, right? Or God forbid, right? I would want him to find somebody. Like, you don't want to be by yourself. You don't want to be like you. Everyone needs. You want to feel loved. You want to feel some sort of what's the word, like companionship. It's important as a human being. So I would want him to find that something, and beyond the sexual aspect. I'm talking about like just
you just need human connection.
Yes. So I would want him to find somebody to do that. Now, with that being said, this is different circumstances. So if I'm gone, should he bring someone in and introduce? I mean, I would hope that my kids would accept her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To know that dad don't want to be by himself.
At the end of the day,
you know what I'm saying? I think that's the right thing.
And good to
yeah. And she just needs to know that whatever was, given to him, like she ain't getting shit. That's it. Everything goes to my kids.
Yeah.
She ain't getting shit. I'm telling you right fucking now.
Listen,
bitch ain't getting nothing. I better not die. She ain't getting nothing. So hang it up, bitch. Be cutting that out.
I'm just at a point now, whoever I connect with, I would need to see in them that they would, I guess, mesh well. Especially
who wouldn't want that?
With my boys.
You want that.
Yeah.
You want them to mesh with all your kids.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want
you
that?
do.
But reality
no, I only say them because I know
they're giving a hard time.
They don't give me a hard time. As long as
That's what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once I know that they are all right with it and they even acting cordial with them, then I know it's okay. And there's only been 2 situations like that.
Yeah.
If my son came in the first meeting, introduction, giving them a pound, hey, what's up, whatever, but son, what's wrong with you? Do you know this dude? Did you even vet him yet? Like, you need to be, don't come all friendly.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah.
And see, I don't get that from them, so.
I expect that. But at some point, when I'm telling you, it's good to me, and that you can see it and you're witnessing it yourself, I want you to be respectful of this person that I'm bringing into my life. So that's what I'm saying.
So that's as an adult, but as a kid, it's tougher because if they, especially if the dad's in their life or not, or if it's just tougher when they're younger. Yeah.
Explain to your dad. Let me say, I had this conversation, and I had to make it very clear that I would never be replaced. I'm gonna always be with these kids' mothers. They will never ever call no one else mom.
That's right.
They don't have no reason to.
That's right.
I
don't even like the word stepmom. I don't like none of that shit. They have one mom.
That's
Yes.
right.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm still here.
That's right.
So I had to make that very clear.
Mm-hmm.
And I would, if you on the other foot, and I had to, listen, tell my kids, you only got one mom.
One dad.
You got one dad.
Yep.
That's it.
And you have to give them the utmost respect all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Now, if things work out where you have a meaningful relationship at some point with whoever's other significant person,
Yeah.
and you feel comfortable having certain conversations with them, I wouldn't say 100% like it. I would rather you come to me first as your
That's fair.
parent, but
Yeah.
I understand that you're developing a relationship with this person because you do want that to happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna go talk to this person about me though. So
I know that's
you know
right.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you're gonna have you should be able to feel comfortable and not feel scared like my mom don't want me talking to this person because that's not the
That's
case.
not the right
I just
feeling,
want
yeah.
you to know
Yeah.
that all you I'm number one. I'm your only one. I'm
Yeah.
your only mother.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is your only dad.
She said, "I'm one of one,
One-
the only
yeah.
one."
That's
Only
right.
That's right. No,
So-
for real.
and it's
That's
having
how I've
that
always
conversation
felt,
and making
yeah.
Your kids
Yeah.
understand like I'm not replacing your dad. Your dad is your dad.
That's correct.
I'm just not with me and your dad just not together.
Yeah.
I want you guys to be okay with that. It has nothing to do with you
Yeah.
guys. It's just things didn't work out, whatever,
Mhm.
whatever. But we all want to be happy at some point, and we're finding people to be happy with. You know, unfortunately, we couldn't find that with each other, but
Yeah.
we want to go find it and explore it with somebody else.
Yeah.
And we want you guys to be okay with that.
Yeah.
But just know, one and one. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So in the spirit of the F them kids episode, like
She trying to be politically correct. Fuck them kids.
I think you got the F-bomb quite a bit on this episode, but
I mean, the reality is, again, it's about bringing your kids up. For me, it's about bringing your kids up in a way that you hopefully don't have to say that, like in perpetuity. And like that's the way, like a Brian McKnight situation.
Yeah.
Because like I
no.
mentioned as a disclaimer earlier, there, as a parent, everything's not always going to be rosy.
no.
Sometimes that's real talk. Like
No,
sometimes
I
it's like,
understand.
you know, you come home, they'll do something that really like, come on, you know what I mean? So everything ain't gonna be rosy, and it's okay. But some of their fucked upness,
Yes.
where it's like we need to be held accountable. Some of it, because some of
Not
it is
all of it.
not. That's
Not
what I'm
all
saying.
of it.
Some of it we listen. We're responsible for giving them the foundation.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it is like I said, 50% is what they
Yeah.
get out their experience.
Right.
So if we didn't give them the proper foundation, that may contribute to the fuck them kids.
Yeah.
The real talk. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
So it's up to like that's all I've got. That's all I got to say on that. You know. So,
I agree 100%.
but hopefully y'all don't be feeling this way about your kids.
Hopefully, you guys have wonderful, amazing kids, and you are wonderful, amazing parents, and never have to feel to be out there.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be like trying to teach. You know, I don't know about y'all. This is the last thing I'll say, but this shit. Johnny had 5 apples. You ever tried to do homework with these motherfuckers? Johnny got 5 apples.
Yeah, those were moments you were like,
Oh my God.
I couldn't do it. Richard had to do it because he'd be like, okay, wait. Now
no,
listen
but
here.
What about when they changed how they did math?
Oh, that Common Core shit?
Oh,
I can't fuck with that.
I
My
told-
kids would.
The stuff that they're doing
I
right
can't
now.
You know what I told my kids? Listen, don't come ask me for your help.
Because I
Don't
can't
come
help
ask-
you.
No, not even that. Don't come ask me for help if you're gonna sit here and tell me that Mr. So-and-so said this is how you do it. You go ask Mr. So-and-so for help. You stay after school or you ask him for extra help. Don't come in here and say I'm telling you how to do it wrong. Did we get to the same answer or not? Got to the same answer.
No, we used to scare the shit out of them. And it's not even when you be like, okay, Johnny had 3 apples. Sarah gave him 2. How many apples you got now? They be sitting there, be fucking be like 7. Like, God damn it. 5, motherfucker. 5. You be
my
ready to be
God.
like, yo. But
Some
listen.
of those videos that I've been watching on
Them shits is
IG,
real.
oh my God. But it's out into the universe now. Like,
yeah, you be
So don't be fucking your kids up like.
exactly.
one in real life. So
Alright.
I just want to be
the
clear. I
authorities will come
say,
and get you.
I just want to be clear. I say fuck them kids all the time, but trust and believe, all 3 of my kids are
We
my
love
heart.
them.
I will do
We love
anything
them.
for them within my means.
Even if
Yes.
they all grown ass ages.
Exactly. Yes, I know I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
there, but not all the time.
Not for every
I pick
little
and choose
thing.
my battles now. And
For sure.
That's
Go
what, and that's
figure it
okay.
out.
And that's okay. They grown.
And that's the best advice you can give too, because there are gonna be moments. Listen, you're gonna have some great moments with your kids. You're gonna have some Because they got their growing phases. They got their growing stages, right? Because I know between the ages of freaking 11 and 16, and it was for both genders. It didn't matter. I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill these kids. Either I'm gonna kill them or they gonna kill me. Somebody gonna be dead.
It was a little different with I have to disagree on that because you have two girls.
Nah, my son too.
I had one, and it was different because with her, I was a firm believer. There's only one bitch in this house.
It wasn't even about that. It was the mouth. It was just the mouth.
But that's the age group. That's
they want to talk back to you. They want to debate everything with you. And it's not a goddamn
They didn't
debate.
talk back to me as much as my daughter did. That's why it's a difference.
That's the age.
Yeah, we were word for word.
But you know what? This is the last thing I think I want to bring up on this topic. And this is real serious, real talk. I think there's some parents, you're too much in their shit. You're too much in their business. Like, to the point where you don't even have a life of your own. Like when you're too much, you're not giving, to me, that is a detriment to their ability to grow. To learn. When you are too much and doing too much, fully functional adults, because you're handicapping them. Like they can't make decisions on their own. They can't do. They come to you for everything. They come into because they can't even fucking function. And that, to me, that's not raising someone that's gonna be like, you can be with them. But at some point, they got to be able to do shit on their own.
And see, that's me growing up. My father was very, very strict. And that was something that I always said I would never do with my kids. So, and it made it hard for me because I tried not to be a friend to them. But at the same time, I also was the cool mom. Because I had understanding of what they were going through.
It's that balance.
Yes.
You gotta have that balance. I think it's situational, right? So it depends on at what age they like. When you say, I'm stepping back from this, you do this on your own. I'm stepping back from this, you do this on your own. If you get stuck, I'll help you figure it out.
Exactly.
You better go try first.
And figure it out.
Every little thing, try first. So it's at certain ages and certain things that you got to step back and say, figure this out. But damn well, I think between the ages of, when they get to 25, they really should be doing a lot more. Maybe even
21.
younger.
I'm saying
you gotta start early. You gotta start earlier.
I was too old.
No, you're probably right. But I'm saying in terms of like full, because our kids still live in our house and they fucking. Right? No, I get what you're saying. But what I'm saying to you is like, it depends on certain things. And I agree, 21, when you legal to do every fucking thing.
You figure the shit out.
Yeah.
And I'm there for advice.
Yeah.
You know, and counsel.
I agree with 21. I'm just saying, but like, even some things start even before that. When you start.
Absolutely. Oh, for sure. I always use this analogy. I got a rope tied around my kid. They're out and they're skating on the ice rink. Okay. Right? And all of a sudden, the ice path is a little sketchy and they fall in, it breaks. Okay. I'm there, I'm the tether. So I let them do what they want to do. Figure it out. They're skating around, all of a sudden dipping. Oh shit, I fell in. I'm there to pull you back. I'm there to help you out when you need it. Okay. When you get to that point. Sometimes before you skating around that thin ice, I'm like, hey, I may say some shit. Like, hey, you might want to, you know that. I don't listen.
You got it.
That's correct.
They don't want to be told everything.
That's right.
And if you do tell them something, tell them. Don't keep
and let them figure it out.
And see, that's how I was. And people used to. My mom used to get on me about that sometimes,
but
saying.
You wouldn't follow up. I ain't following up with what I told you.
I done said it once. I may go as far as telling you twice, but I'm not gonna keep repeating myself and telling you what you should be doing.
I'm the same way.
I'm not.
You gotta
doing
figure.
all
But
that.
that's sometimes people. What's that? I don't remember the old saying, but
overbearing.
No, the heart. I can't remember the saying, but sometimes motherfuckers gotta learn when they get burnt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then they'll learn, like, don't touch that oven. Don't touch that oven. They touch the oven like, I told you. They have to learn sometimes.
Make mistakes because making mistakes is important too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because how are you going to learn if you don't make a mistake?
Oh, yeah.
How are you going to recover and stand, get back up and try
resilience.
Again? Like,
that's correct. Yes.
Everything is being done for you. You're going to always be a little wimp in the corner crying.
Little bitch. Sorry.
Exactly.
I don't want to raise no little bitch asses. Like, no, and I shouldn't even say that as a, but you gotta let them figure it out. You gotta have
boys that's sensitive, but at the same time, you ain't gonna be crying over every little thing neither.
And see, here's the thing. I stay away from the female-male thing, a lot of things, because I will tell you, my son and I didn't see a difference between my son and my daughters at a certain age range of when I just wanted to be like, I'm gonna kick your ass today. Somebody's dying today. Like, I'm telling you, between the ages of 11
seeds.
and 16.
Someone's
I'm
going
like,
down.
Somebody's going down. It was like, because I kept telling them, I said, listen, and my motto with them always was like, listen, we not going to be friends, goddammit. I'm the mother. You ain't going to always want to hear what I have to say. You're not going to always like what I got to say. And the same thing goes for when you say shit to me, I'm not going to always want to hear. At the end of the day, I'm the mother, right? So, but it was dope. Between 11 and 16, all three of them. And I want to just...
I get it.
I don't always think it's a male and female thing sometimes. If you have a mouthy kid, you have a mouthy fucking kid. And my son was a mouthy ass little boy.
Sometimes
it
it
is.
is. And at some point...
Champion was, but not to the point, like, it's now that his mouth is reckless, and they got to, look, nigga, bye.
But I think sometimes, too... We don't like some of that spicy, that fire that the kid has. And I'm saying this because I was that kid. I was the mouthy one. I was the clap back. Before they even said clap back, I had a clap back for that ass. And I just, so you don't want to stunt that growth. You want to fuel it. You want them to have, that is who that person is at their core. They're fiery.
Not to me, guys.
Janine would have been fucking me up. But, and on that note, maybe we should end it.
I allowed them to express themselves to a certain degree.
To a certain degree,
Nigga,
yes.
now you getting disrespectful.
Yes.
Well, so there's one way you can express yourself
without being disrespectful.
Don't raise your voice to me because I'm the parent.
Correct. And I wasn't, when I say I was fiery, I didn't like raise my voice. I probably said some slick shit, but I didn't curse all the time. In my head. No, in my head I was cussing motherfuckers out as a kid. But I would say something slick to the point.
How many times you got popped upside
a lot. My grandma used to tell me, girl, I'm gonna break your face. Yep. She meant that shit.
Yep, sure
and
did.
So she was the one I was like, all right, I'm shut up. But I'd be mumbling some shit under my breath, like, I wish you would. Some
and
shit
that,
like
and that even made it worse. Nah.
No, but that's
because you'd be in a whole nother room and my mom heard your ass. Yep.
Yes. Oh, that's another thing. Don't roll your eyes. So then I'm sitting there. I won't. I'll be like this.
Don't roll your eyes. Don't suck your teeth. And don't mumble under your breath.
Then I got that face.
Eyes wasn't so bad, but if you sucked, because my mother's from the island. Ain't
no,
nobody kissing no teeth up here.
Kissing no teeth. Kissing no teeth.
Because that was an ass whipping in the making.
Nah. So, but that also goes... We're not gonna. This will be like a long conversation around the gentle parenting thing, which none of us really subscribe to. But I will say... on that strength, that is something about allowing your kid to actually express themselves and not just stunting whatever they're trying to, because that makes it, if you keep stopping them from being like expressing themselves, they grow into be adults that may not have the words or get worked all over because they don't, so it's a balance, so in any case, I think this was a good episode.
It was.
As long as y'all know, we love our kids.
Yes. But fuck them.
Oh, Jesus.
And on that note...
Cheers, ladies.
Cheers, ladies.